In the entire Galactic Union, no one ever really questioned why humans smiled so much. Everyone just assumed it was a cultural thing, a social tactic, maybe just a harmless emotional display. Well, they were wrong, and Dr. Velthara, a xenobiologist and self-proclaimed expert on dental evolution, was about to find that out the hard way. She remembered the moment perfectly. The scanner ping, a hologram flickered to life, and the results appeared with a huge, blinking red header. Warning: structure matches parameters for TIER for biological weapon. Velthar just stared. Then she looked over at the human sitting calmly on her examination table. Private Jace Rowan was smiling at her, a bright, wide grin, with every single tooth on full display. "Oh, Doc," he asked, "is something wrong with the machine?" Velthar swallowed 3 times. Her species' version of a gasp. "Human, Rowan," she said slowly, her voice trembling. "How often do you sharpen these?" Jace just blinked. "Sharpen? They just grow." She started scribbling furiously on her datapad. Self-regenerating edge bone, capable of crushing composite rations, dense enough to pierce armor-grade plant exoskeletons. Possible predatory ancestry. When she looked up again, the human was still smiling. "You see, 3 hours earlier, Velthar's team had been ordered to perform a complete biological classification of all Alliance species. This came after a series of battlefield incidents involving humans that were, to put it mildly, concerning. A human soldier had bitten through a restraining harness designed for a quadrupedal war beast. An engineer, lacking a wrench, tore open a sealed coolant tube with their teeth. A civilian used their incisors to crack open a raw Vorth shellfish, a task that require industrial tools on most worlds. The reports were so absurd that the Union Science Council demanded verification. Velthara honestly didn't expect the scans to confirm any of it. She opened another hologram. "Your bite force," she murmured, "is higher than a Krog warhound." Jace just shrugged. "Yeah, but we don't usually bite people. It's not polite." "Not polite," Velthar repeated slowly, as if the word was some terrifying new concept. Her assistant, Fenora, approached with trembling hands. "Doctor, the Council is asking for a preliminary classification." Velthar took a deep breath. "Tell them this: humans possess a biological system capable of crushing mineral composites, slicing through organic armor, and inflicting catastrophic damage on soft tissue species." Jace raised a hand. "You make it sound like we're some kind of weapon." Velthar turned the hologram toward him. "Your dental structure by all galactic standards is one, and right on cue." The alarms went off. A deep, throbbing siren shook dust from the ceiling. A holographic alert popped up. "Breach. Species Krog Raiders penetrating medical wing." Jace hopped off the examination table. "Right. Time to go." Velthar stepped back. "You can't engage them. You're unarmed." Jace's grin widened into something far more predatory. "Not exactly." Before she could even ask what he meant, the lights flickered. Heavy footsteps echoed down the corridor. Krog warriors, armored, armed, and brutal. The door burst open. A Krog raider roared, swinging its serrated blade down toward her. Velthar froze. Fenora screamed, but Jace moved. He didn't use a weapon or a tool. He used sheer, terrifying human instinct. He dodged left, grabbed a Krog's wrist, and bit down. The crunch echoed through the room. The raider howled, dropping its weapon as Jace ripped off its gauntlet, his teeth sinking through metal and flesh like it was fruit skin. Velthar's entire body locked up. "Oh stars, it's all true." Another Krog. Lunge. Jace threw the first one aside and met the second head-on, slamming his forehead into its snout before sinking his teeth into the exposed neck plate. The creature collapsed in a heap. Jace wiped his mouth with the back of his hand. "Ugh. Krog taste awful." Velthar could barely breathe. "Private Rowan, your species doesn't just possess Tier 4 weaponry. You are Tier 4 weaponry." Jace gave a casual shrug. "Hey, you scanned me. I told you we bite when things get bad." Staring at this soft-skinned, Smiling, deceptively polite apex predator, Velthar finally understood why the council had been so scared. Humans didn't need weapons. They were born with them. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more tales from across the galaxy. See you next time. When Jace was done with the Krog Raiders, the medbay looked like a battlefield. I'd seen human combat reports before, but seeing it up close and armed, improvised, and fueled by pure instinct was something else entirely. Jace stretched his jaw, and it made a satisfying pop. Haven't used these this much since basic training, he said. I blinked. Humans train with their teeth. Jace laughed. No, well, some survival instructors do, but that's a long story. My hands were shaking as I typed on my datapad. Addendum. Human teeth function as natural melee implements. Efficiency increases under stress response, highly adaptive, wholly unregulated. Just then, the medbay intercom crackled to life. All personnel, brace. Remaining Krog forces are regrouping. Expect a breach within 60 seconds. Fenora whimpered and hid behind a console. I steadied myself. I was a scientist, not a soldier, but I wasn't about to be torn apart. I looked at the sealed emergency cabinet on the wall. Inside were surgical lasers, anesthetic injectors, and one compact plasma scalpel. I reached for it, and Jace casually pushed my hand down. Don't bother. They are coming to kill us, and we're going to leave before they get the chance. He tapped a floor grate with his boot. Maintenance tunnel. I saw the schematic when I came in. I just stared. Why would a soldier memorize the maintenance layout of a medical wing? Jace shrugged. Humans like to know where things are. Just a habit. I had so many more questions, but the pounding on the door grew louder. The metal was buckling, bolts groaning. Fenora sobbed. We're going to die. Jace crouched by the grate and ripped it open with his bare hands. No tools. No effort. Just raw, unnerving human strength. After you, he said cheerfully. We climbed down just as the medbay door gave way and Krog warriors stormed inside, snarling. Jace dropped from the hatch last and kicked to grate close behind him. I activated my wrist holo, pulling up the facility map. This passage leads to a junction. If we take the left turn, Jace stopped me with a gentle pat on the shoulder. Already know this way. I tilted my head. You memorize maps exceptionally fast. He grinned. We evolved on a planet where predators like to chase us. You learn the routes quickly. Typical human answer, I thought. Casual, light-hearted and absolutely horrifying. We crawled through the tunnels for several minutes, following Jace's lead. Behind us, faint thuds echoed. Krog raiders prying open the maintenance system. Then a new sound followed. Scraping, sniffing, growling. I froze. They've deployed trackers. Jace didn't stop. Keep moving. Fenora panicked. They'll catch us. We'll be shredded. Jace's voice shifted. It became calmer, colder. No, they won't. The tunnel opened into a vertical shaft. A ladder stretched downward into darkness. I hesitated. Where does this go? Waste disposal bay, Jace answered. But don't worry, I cleaned up the last time I was here. You cleaned a waste bay. He shrugged. Humans hate clutter. The scraping behind us grew louder, closer. I felt the blood drain from my face. One of the Krog trackers poked its armored snout into the tunnel opening and roared. Fenora screamed. Jace didn't. He moved so fast I barely saw it. One leap, one grip, one brutal downward strike. His teeth sank into the creature's throat. The tracker convulsed once and went limp. I couldn't speak, couldn't think. I just stared at the human soldier holding a dead beast between his teeth. Jace dropped the body. Sorry. I know it's gross. Gross was not the word. Terrifying was closer. Yet he showed no pride, no bloodlust, just concern that this might be socially awkward. That, I realized, was the most frightening part of all. We descended the ladder and reached the disposal bay. It was empty, quiet, and safe above us. Krog shouts echoed through the metal corridors. Jace moved to the console and keyed in a command. Sequence with practice cease. I blinked. You can override facility doors. I watched the tech do it earlier, he said, tapping the screen. Humans pick things up fast. A distant clang told us the raiders were nearly upon us. Jace finished the sequence. The overhead blast shutters slammed shut throughout the entire facility. The Krog were trapped. Jace dusted off his hands. And that's that. I stared at him, trembling not from fear, but from the overwhelming realization dawning in my mind. Humans weren't dangerous because they were violent. They were dangerous because they were adaptable, persistent, unpredictable, and, if necessary, they could weaponize their own biology. I exhaled shakily. Private Rowan, the Union will reconsider human classification after this. Jace tilted his head. Higher or lower, I whispered. Much, much higher. Jace smiled a bright, wide smile, showing every single terrifyingly capable tooth. Cool. Thanks for tuning in for the finale. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss the next one. We'll see you in the comments.